Hello, so the Theft of Thors Hammer, Thrymskviða. I think that's how you say it, I'm not sure. So, this myth has some interesting facts. So it begins with Thor. He wakes up and his hammer is gone, right? So Thor says, "Hear me, Loki. What I have to say no one knows, neither on earth nor in the heavens. The hammer has been stolen from the Asa." So this, right off the bat, is showing that Loki is not evil. First off, if Loki was evil, he would never be allowed in, with the Asa. And he's always, there's multiple stories where Thor and Loki are together, or where Woden and Loki are together, and Woden and Loki are also blood brothers. So get the whole idea of Loki being evil or bad out of your mind, because it's just not true at all. And constantly, he's always seen as being one of the Aesir, Loki. Even though he was born a Jotun, in the mythology, he's always referred to as an Aesir, not a Jotun or a frost giant. So, this is just showing Thor's trust in Loki. The first person he tells is Loki. All right. And, okay. So, then they go see Freya. All right. And Thor says, "Lend me, Freya, your feather guise, that I may find my hammer." And then Freya says, "I would give it to you, though it were gold. I would give it, though it were silver." And if you know anything about the elements, gold and silver, precious metals in general, in the Taoist, Chinese, and the different Asian traditions and that, and also in our tradition also, I believe, in general, precious metals represent atom, the element of atom, the wood element, life energy element, right? So, Loki flew it, the feather guy's world, and he left the Aesir's court and entered the giant world, where Thrym the Thurs prince sat on the high seat, twining gold collars for his hounds and braiding the manes for his horses. So there you go, gold again. He's twining life energy collars for his hounds in the giant world. And Thrym is, what his name means is uninspired matter, like atoms, physical matter, physical atoms. It's not inspired. And without the inspiration, it doesn't manifest into anything. So that is what this giant represents, Thrym. And Thrym says, "How is it with the Aesir? How is it with the elves? Why are you come to the giant world?" Aesir, elves, always represent your highest awareness. So uninspired matter is saying, how is it with the higher awareness? And then Loki says, "It is ill with the Aesir. It is, it's not well with the higher awareness. Have you hidden Thor's hammer?" Right? The Thor's hammer, what is it? It's Thor. It's power of the mind, the electromagnetic force. What does that do? Thor, the boundaries. He holds atoms together. Everything. This pen, it's a bunch of little balls of atoms, matter. It manifests into this because we manifest it with our mind. It has the electromagnetic force all over it, or else I could squeeze it and then the little balls of atoms would just kind of go all over. But it doesn't. It stays a solid because the electromagnetic force is there, and therefore I cannot just squeeze my fingers together through this pen and push the atoms out in different directions, the little balls of atoms, because of Thor, the electromagnetic force. So there's a connection here. Unmanifested matter is the name of this giant, and he takes the electromagnetic force away from Thor, and he wants Freya. Freya is your inspiration, your desires. You want something, your soul has a desire and it wants something, and Freya is the inspiration, the creation, the female egg. You create a child, right? So, "Thrym, I have hidden L'Oreal's hammer 8 days' journey beneath the ground. No man shall fetch him back again unless he bring me Freya to wife." Right? He wants to marry Desire because he is unmanifested matter. He is Uninspired matter is his name. He needs Freya, inspiration. He wants to marry inspiration so he can manifest into something. Loki says, all right, I have completed the effort and also the errand. Thrym the Thors prince has your hammer. None shall fetch it back again unless he bring the giant Freya to wife. Right? So everything I just said. You know, he takes the EMF power from Thor, the electromagnetic force power from the mind from Thor, to manifest and hold atoms together because he is uninspired matter and he needs the inspiration of Freya in order to manifest into something solid. Well, I'm just going to skip a bunch and then I go to the end because one other thing that is interesting in this saga at the end here, when Thor finally gets the hammer, before he gets the hammer, Thrym says, bring in the hammer to consecrate the bride. Lay Mjolnir in the maiden's lap. Join our hands with the wedding band. I have a video, if you look at my Yule videos and all those other older ones, I have a video talking about Thor's hammer and how important it was and how it was used at weddings. They would use weddings, or use Thor's hammer Mjolnir at weddings. It's the boundary maker. So when you're making a boundary, putting two together, you're putting a man and a woman together, they are getting married, they would use Thor's hammer in the pagan days at weddings. And the wedding band that he speaks of in the pagan times, it was actually like a piece of bacon, like a long string of pork. And, you know, it was probably smoked so you wouldn't get sick, right? If it, you know, because pork can have worms and stuff in it. So smoked pork or whatever, like a piece of thin bacon. And that would be wrapped around your wedding band. And that is for Freyr, his swine, right? His pig, his boar that he rides. Because Freyr and Thor are the gods for weddings. And so the pork represents, you're swearing your oath on the pork for Freyr, and then you take Mjolnir for Thor, and he puts the boundary stakes within you and your wife, and you are now together. You now have boundary stakes, and the two of you are as one. And also, pork is Eldenmir in the one saga in Grimilsma, and it represents the elements also, life, energy, you know, how you connect. You make connection in ritual by using the elements as offerings. So these are the interesting facts of this story, the theft of Thor's hammer, and that is the real meaning behind it. So I thought I would share it with you. Deuce.